Hey guys, Adrian here for the Dojocast. This is episode 23 of the Dojocast, News Near You. Hey guys, Adrian here, and I'm joined today by my co-host, also co-owner of Digital Dojos, Josh, or B493. What's up, Josh? Hey, so we have a lot of stories for you guys today, and a lot of updates this week. With PSN and all that, we have some Android news. We have some alternatives, not really news, I guess, but more just some office chairs, some office oriented stories. So we'll be moving on to that. And so about first off, if you're watching the video edition here, I have some headphones dangling from down here. That's because I don't want these headphones are the ones going into the speakers, so you guys don't get an echo. And I also have my headset here because this headset doesn't what do you call that? The microphone works, but the headset doesn't. So yeah, but I think Josh, you also have your video going, correct?
Yes, I have video from my FaceTime HD camera.
Sweet, and you also have your desktop recording, correct?
Yep.
Alright, so we'll be seeing video from that as well over the articles. And I guess so. Anything new, Josh? Anything you want to stir up before we go into the podcast? Alright, so with that, let's get right into the stories or the news. First story coming from CNET. This is from the security blog. Iris recognition gadget eliminates passwords. Now, this is something you've seen in the movies. This is something you've seen, it's been a concept for a while now. There's been devices, but this is more at the consumer level. There is a company out there known as, designed by Hoyo's group. The device is called the iLock. It uses iris recognition, which is obviously recognizing your eye, as an alternative passwords to logging into password-protected websites and certain applications. Although similar eye scanning devices have already been, developed, the iLock is the first and only portable iris scanning device for consumers, and that's the keyword. It's going to be something that you can plug in via USB, and I'm sure Josh has a picture of this up. Something you can plug in USB. You'll have a little dock, maybe about the size of a pen drive or so, and you kind of I'm guessing you would just either look into it or hold it up to your eye so that it could scan. It says here, quote, every time you log in, it reads your iris and creates a unique key, which in a series of numbers, and this key changes every time, so you can log in, so no one can hack it. And this could be something, obviously this isn't something for the consumer base. We already have our, the fingerprint scanners and stuff like that. And I always thought it would be a cool thing to, I don't know, Josh, about you, but have you ever wanted one of those, like, fingerprint biometric scanners or anything like that?
Yeah, I've always thought they'd be really cool. Actually, the Motorola Atrix that I have has
Uh-huh.
a biometric scanner.
Really?
You can swipe to unlock on the Atrix. Yeah.
So nobody, unless they have your fingerprint, get in there?
Yeah, there's also, you have to set a password, a regular
Uh-huh.
password too, just in case, or so someone else can use your phone. But
Yeah.
it has a biometric scanner on the back, and you can just swipe your finger, and it
Oh,
unlocks
dude,
it.
that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, so I mean, I've always thought that technology is really cool, and this is obviously dealing with the eye, but obviously this is more for, I guess, those people who have security. This is more for somebody who has data that's, what do you say, like you don't want people viewing, you don't want them going into your websites and stuff like. I guess for websites, it's just kind of it's not necessarily needed for like an eBay account or anything like that, but like if you have applications that require bank information or like anything that's super secret, top secret, government or anything like that, I guess at that type of level, then you would need something like this. But I guess for the basic consumer, just a cool thing to have. No word on price point yet. And it says here, just in case anybody was wondering, if someone kills you, it won't work because once you die, your eye automatically flattens, so your iris isn't the same. So, just in case anybody was like thinking about cutting somebody's, if somebody can use somebody else's eye or anything like that, it is impossible. Anyways, I don't know, Josh, what do you think about this? What do you think about iris recognition technology?
I think it's pretty cool, but I think it's a long way away from being an everyday type
Yeah,
thing.
it's a common thing. It's more something you see in movies for like bank vaults and stuff like that. But till then, we'll stick to our passwords, and I guess biometric is also something. I guess biometric hasn't really even came into huge, what do you call that, user base. Like, you don't see a lot of consumers using that.
I think biometric. I think they're probably about the same, somewhat, as far as security goes. As
Yeah,
I,
probably.
I guess the only thing is the eye wouldn't work after you're dead, and
Yeah,
a
well,
finger
the
would.
hand would.
But
Yeah,
uh, but I think the finger will probably be more likely to take off, just because you don't want to like have to hold your face up to something like scan your eye,
yeah. It
and
seems like
it's a lot
hand.
easier to just stick your finger on something and get in.
Yep. Definitely. All right. And with that, we'll go into our next article. This comes by way of Lifehacker, the top 10 awesome Android features that iPhones don't have. So, number 10, the alternative keyboard from, now, Josh, I'm going to have to ask you a couple things in here as we go along because you are an Android user. But from text predictors like SwiftKey to innovative things like Swipe and downright adventurous things like 8-Pen, you have a lot of different keyboard choices on Android, while iPhone, you're kind of stuck with your default keyboard on your iPhone. Unless, I guess, there is some mods you can do if you're a jailbroken user. So this is obviously, you don't want to show the text there, but, sorry. This is the keyboard on the iPhone if you're watching on my video edition. I'm sure a lot of you have seen that, and obviously it goes into landscape mode there. And, it's a decent keyboard. I can type pretty fast on this, but, yeah. So number 9, automation. One of the most powerful, useful Android apps is around is Tasker, the automation program that lets you turn your iPhone into a superphone. You can turn settings on and off for certain applications by location, time of day, pretty much any other condition you can think of. Custom home launchers. iPhones can have, their customization quite a bit, but unless you're jailbroken, you're really not going to get that much. Widgets, of course. Android phones can run widgets. They have removable storage and batteries, while the iPhone is all kind of, unless you can actually open up your phone, then you'll have access to a battery and such. Wireless app installation now. This is all about wireless syncing and stuff like that. Again, if you're jailbroken, it's possible, and I believe an iOS 5 rumor is that we're going to be able to see wireless syncing with iPhone devices, so that may be coming soon. Number 4, custom ROMs. Number 3, controlling your phone from your computer. Again, if you're jailbroken, it can be done on the iPhone. Number 2, Flash. That can't necessarily be done on, I guess it can be done on the iPhone with Flash, so again, another thing that can be done. And last but not least, True App integration with Google Voice may finally be available for the iPhone. Obviously Google's backing up a lot of stuff in Android with all these app integrations because obviously Google's developing in the Android platform. So you're seeing a lot of voices like Maps and stuff like that being integrated straight into the phone. So Josh, what do you think, what are your favorite features on your Android from this list that really separated it from the iPhone?
The True App integration is actually really nice. So say I have, it'll recognize that I have 3 different web browsers installed.
Mm-hmm.
So when I launch a link, it will say which web browser do you want to use to open this, and then I can set it as the default action, or the default browser for that action. So I can set a default browser basically, which you can't do on the iPhone. I don't know.
Yeah.
And also, the wireless app installation is pretty nice because I can just browse the Android market on the web and install like 5 or 10 apps all at once without even touching my phone or waiting for them to download and install.
Yeah.
So you can just kind of do that really quickly just by browsing around.
Nice. What about what do you call that? The automation, is that similar to, I guess that's not, that's not similar to, what do you call that? SP settings, is it?
I haven't really tried automation very much, actually. So I don't know much about it. The alternate keyboards are pretty cool too, because the Swipe is a pretty cool keyboard, and you can just change the keyboards and how autocorrect kind of works between the different keyboards and stuff like that. It's pretty nice.
Sweet. I think a lot of these things, some of these things, like I said, if you're on jailbroken, if you're on an iPhone that's jailbroken, some of these things are available to you. So just not officially, I guess, is what this list is basing it off of. Alright, so those are your top 10 features or awesome Android features that separate from the iPhone. Alright, moving on. This isn't really a news story per se, but Mashable did do a nice article on top 5 seats. Take a seat. So top 5 office chair alternatives here. I have a nice, I guess this is just like a leather office chair. Actually, this is relatively new. I just got it a couple of weeks ago. But what about you, Josh? What office chair? Did you choose a regular, office chair or anything like that, or anything special?
It's kind of a bigger chair. It's basic office type chair, 2 arms, and it's kind of cheap, fake leather.
Yeah,
it's basic.
Right. Yeah, but obviously, if you've heard a lot about, if you're into ergonomics and that type of stuff, there's a lot of different chairs out there. They have the stuff that has lumbar support, and if you read Lifehacker, they have a really great amount of ergonomic articles on how to properly be seated. Obviously, you want your back straight, and you want eye level with the monitors and all that stuff, just so you don't nothing happens long term. But Mashable completed a top 5 list of alternative chairs. Number 1 being the saddle seat. This is one of those backless seats that has it rotates, the ones you can spin in and stuff like that. And obviously the chair is in the form of a saddle, and it stops you from slumping in your chair. You know, people who like have a tendency not to have their back straight, you know, you get bad back posture. It opens up your hips, it says, and puts you in a more gentle position. So, if you're into that, the saddle seats. The next one's more unique, the kneeling chairs. I don't know, it says helps you promote open and dynamic seating position. So your spine is in a natural curvature, it says here. So, number 3 is the stand-up stools. I've seen a couple of people use these. These are just kind of like the ones you get in your, you know, you see in kitchens and stuff like that. Just one base, no like, you know, straight up a pole with a seat. And what this gets you to do, I remember a lot of, back in the day when I was watching YouTube videos, one of the guys who did video tips, he would always use this because, you know, you have no back support, which kind of trains yourself to kind of keep your good back posture because you can't really lean back on anything. And I remember in my biology class, we also had these stand-up stools. So, like, you know, when kids fall asleep, they have a tendency to, you know, fall back. Stand-up stools would be there, so it's like obviously you wake up before you fall off. I don't know, it's more of a it's flexible stool height too, so that's pretty cool. Number 4, and this is when you're talking about getting yourself right, Josh, a balance ball. So what do you why do you want to switch to a balance ball? I know Leo Laporte uses this a lot, and you know there's a lot of good things for it. But what's your thoughts on it?
I don't know. I just think it's an interesting alternative, kind of, and I just really want to try it out, see what it's like. Kind of.
And again, the same thing with the back support. You train yourself to use better back posture, and it also reduces, they say, nerve compression. So that's an interesting one. That one's a little bit more of a different design. I know Leo Laporte, he just straight up uses, you know, a gym ball or, you know, an aerobic ball. Number 5 is the active dynamic stool. I've seen one of these on the Life Hack as well. This is really cool. Basically, it's like a spring chair that allows you to have active sitting, which means that you can move in different directions, backward, forward, sideways, up and down. And it's moving your muscles in whatever changing positions here. And it says here that scientific studies show that if you move twice as much on active seats as a conventional one, is a good thing, you know, for your muscles to be worked out. So like, obviously, you know, if you're sitting in your chair a lot. And of course, you know, ergonomic tips, take a break every 15 or so minutes from working, walk around real quick, you know, take a 2-minute break, you know, stretch your legs out, stuff like that. And, you know, it's always great to take a look at these articles to help you stay healthy. So, yeah, Josh, you said you're going to be moving to that aerobic ball soon, right?
Yeah, my chair is slowly starting to kind of fall apart. I've lost a bolt or two that holds the back to the arm, and so it's seeing that it's end of its lifespan very soon.
All right, right, yeah, and I think I'm gonna keep this chair for a while until I upgrade. Or actually, we're moving to a new house after my sophomore year, going to my junior year. So, you know, maybe we'll see an upgrade then. All right, with some Apple news. This week we only have 2 Apple stories, and this is one of the big ones. Rumor mill says that new iPhone is to be called the iPhone 4S. Now, obviously, there was also earlier rumors saying that the iPhone 4S, if it is going to be called that, will not be coming out this fall, I believe. Is that what you heard, Josh? I heard that it won't be coming out this fall, but maybe a little bit later on. But speculation, this says, continues to swirl around the iPhone and the endless claim that it's going to be called the iPhone 4S. You know, we did this with the 3G. We went from the 3G to the 3GS. And if I'm correct, the S is for speed, right? Alright, so we're probably going to see, you know, a faster, much more faster iPhone 4 at the iPhone 4, as if it's not fast enough. You know, I'm sure we're going to see the dual-core A5 processor be integrated into the iPhone, which will just make it, you know, 10 times faster than it already is. And we'll probably see some RAM upgrades. And I know your Atrix is one of the ones that has a new dual core in it, correct? How has the speed is on? Is the dual core really that much of a difference?
Yeah, it's pretty quick. I've almost never had problems with speed. I just don't notice it, which means I mean, if you don't notice it, that's really good.
Great. Yeah, true. So they said the iPhone design will be about minor cosmetic changes, so you won't see a huge overhaul from the iPhone 4. Maybe some camera changes. That was a rumor. And won't be any LTE support. That's what they're saying so far. But we're definitely going to see some hardware changes like we did when we went from 3G to 3GS. The design kind of stayed the same. And I'm sure we'll have the white iPhone 4S come out just because recently they did that on white iPhone 4s and stuff like that. So yeah. So anything else? What are you looking for in the iPhone 4? What do you want to see integrated besides these dual core processors, Josh?
Maybe 1080p video.
Yeah, that's true. Does your Atrix do 1080p?
It does 720p, but it's rumored that with a software update they're going to enable 1080p.
What? Okay, so what about your? Oh wait, I swore the Atrix isn't the one with the. Does it have an internal camera as well?
Front facing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, it does. All right, sweet. All right, so moving on here to the next story here, and I guess I forgot to say what I want to see in the iPhone 4, but I just basically want to see I guess 1080p is a good thing, but what else? I think I've always wanted to see better integration with the speakers. I think they're pretty loud as is, but if I'm not mistaken, there's only one side that really plays the sound, right? On the iPhone 4, and one of them is a microphone. So I want to see better integration with the speakers. Camera, like you said, the 1080p. I don't know really. I guess software-wise, really, I'm looking forward to mainly iOS 5. That's really what I want to see. Yeah. Yeah, true. All right, so yeah, that is our that's our Apple news for the. Oh no, sorry, we have one more Apple news or Apple story to get to, but we'll save that for later on. The next big story: Sony begins its relaunch of the PlayStation Network, and then actually we were talking about this today, Josh. So obviously everybody knows the story. PSN has been down for quite a while now. It was speculated that would be up by the end of May, but we're starting to see services go up all around, Europe, Australia, New Zealand. And obviously the Americas, and of course the Asian countries, and East Japan, all that. The network has been slowly going up. They had a map up on their website to show how, green lighted the places that were going up and PSN services were being restored. And Josh, how long do you think, I know you were watching the map yourself, how long did it take for the restoration to kind of follow through, and what's your thoughts on the whole relaunch and breach?
On the U.S., I've recently, you told me about this a couple hours ago.
Yeah.
You told me when just the East Coast of the U.S. was getting it, and about an hour later, they enabled the West Coast, and then like 45 minutes later, kind of the central U.S.
Mm-hmm.
So it took about 3 hours, a little over 3 hours for the whole U.S. to be restored, and Canada came in too with the central U.S., I believe. So about 3 hours in total for them to re-enable it within the U.S.
And so that's just fully restored in the U.S., not all around the world?
Yeah, I'm not sure about the status around the world.
Oh, okay, so stop. Is everything in the network back to, back up?
Yeah, that you can play online and everything.
Wow, that's awesome. All right, so that is good news, obviously. And there's a new Welcome Back program. Have you took advantage of that?
No, I don't know if they've really started that yet. I'm not sure
not yet.
How you access that or anything.
Well, that'll be interesting to see how that goes along. And like I said, I know there's news about like free games and stuff like that. So hopefully, when we get an update on that, we'll see how that goes. All right, so moving on to our next story here about smartphones. And ironically enough, I'm trying to fix my smartphone here with my iPhone 4. The screen just totally died out. Okay, there you go. Now it wants to work. The touchscreen just totally doesn't want to work right now. Anyways, nearly 1 in 5 smartphone users or owners use check-in services. Now, what I mean by check-in services, I mean check-in services like Gowalla, Foursquare. Do you know some other ones, Josh? What are the other popular ones? Facebook Places. Yeah, so there's a lot of different what do you call it? I'm trying to get my phone working here. But a lot of different check-in services, and these are really things that have become more and more popular because there's new reward systems. Check in here, you can become the mayor of this place, and you get a discount. We've seen tons and tons of different models, and now the stats came out from this is the demographic profile for check-in services in a 3-month average here, ending in March 2011. It says here total U.S. mobile subscribers ages 13 plus. So here's a chart, and I'm sure Josh has it open here. So it says total audience 13 years of older of age. Of the number of percent of mobile users from 13 plus is around 100% here, and 100% of smartphone users and 100% of users who use check-in services. Now, breaking that down, 48% of those people who are mobile users are male, and 53% of those males are smartphone users. And out of all of that, 49% of those use check-in services, so that's for the males. Females now, 52% of those are mobile users, and 46% of those are smartphone users, so it seems like the guys are more predominantly smartphone users. But what's interesting is here, 50.8% of the females use the check-in services, so it looks like just a little bit edging out there, the females use the check-in service more. Ranging from age 13 to 17, 7.1, 13 to 17, 8.3 use check-in services. 18 to 24, 26% use check-in services. And the most highly predominant age range is 25 to 34, where 32% of those people use check-in services. Beyond that, ages 35 to 44 use 18.7% check-in services. So I guess it's pretty kind of shocking, but I guess you see a lot of people use it now. And ironically, I mean not ironically, but oddly enough, a couple weeks ago, I tried out Foursquare because I was wondering, do people actually use it here? Because I'm on a military base and we're in Japan. Kind of curious to see how many people use it. And oddly enough, to my surprise, I should say, a lot of people did use it. I got into it, but it kind of wasn't really my thing. I know some of my friends use Facebook Places, but I guess there's not really a lot of incentive enough here. Like we don't get a lot of those discounts, or I guess we get the mayor thing, but there's no discounts offered and stuff like that. Have you ever tried any of these check-in services, and what's your opinions on them?
I tried it a little bit once when I was on vacation. It was pretty interesting. It's really cool, but it's kind of not my thing. But with going to college next year, I think I might start using it some. You could see if there's something going on, or
definitely
something you need to know about. One thing that's interesting about this chart is it surprised me. I figured 18 to 24 would be the largest range of users.
The demographic. Me too.
It just seems like the kind of the college age and kind of the younger techie kind of age that would be using the services, but 25 to 34 is
mid-range,
taking the most users.
Yeah, and so I guess since you're the study, I'm not sure what exactly the study took place here, but this is a ComScore. Yeah, so for this purpose, ComScore includes such location-based. So Gowalla was counted for Foursquare and Facebook Places. It says here more than 95% of them use their mobile browsers or mobile apps, and 62% of them grab news on their mobile devices. So that's just a little bit more statistics coming from there. Anyways, that's some pretty interesting news there. If you are interested in that, we'll leave the link to that in the podcast description. Moving on to some more Apple news. Apple purchased a company, I'm not sure how long ago that was, but do you know how long ago I think it was a while back, wasn't it, when they purchased Nuance?
I don't know. I think it seems like it was a long time ago.
Yeah, I think it was, I want to say, because I totally remember this name, but I'm not sure positive when, but basically, Nuance, like Apple's speech recognition patent emerges, and there was talk about this patent which Apple put out there for Apple to advance iPhone with text-to-speech and speech-to-text converters, and it was later confirmed that we saw, I believe, Nuance-like technology within Apple's OS X Lion. So the patent was basically just to increase, like I said, increase speech recognition, which is something that's not extremely perfect to, today's standards. We've seen Microsoft kind of try to integrate this as early in Vista. They try to have speech recognition, and the OS X had, its own thing. And recently, it's been a popular thing in the mobile market. There's companies like, what's that one? Is it called Dragon Dictation, Josh?
Actually, I just did some research, and Nuance is the company that made Dragon Dictation.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So
Apple bought them.
Yeah, and that was a really good app. I remember reviewing that one. That was it was really, really awesome at doing its thing. Basically, you speak into the phone or iPad, and it would do a really awesome job at getting everything you would say, and on that from there it would match with it. Obviously you say which you would talk into your microphone, obviously, and then that voice, or then it would have a noise meter, and this is what Apple's going to be including in their hopefully iOS 5 updates. Maybe we'll see this in iPhone 4S, who knows. But basically, it would take your text, it would be sent to the database of, whatever, I guess in this case, Nuance, and it would take your speech and convert it into text. And I forgot how this works exactly. I remember watching a video on this, but do you know exactly how it works? Doesn't it just match up, like, human speech with, I know there's one company that used to have actual humans convert the speech, but like they just had a huge database of words and stuff like that. But obviously you're going to get people who say words that are like, sound like this, cat sounds like bat. And that's where these converters probably have some issues. But not only that, they're also going to be having a text-to-speech converter. So basically you would type in text and your phone would announce, maybe when you're driving, so-and-so texted you and this is what they said. So that's where, that can come in handy. But what's your opinion on all of this, Josh, or speech recognition in general? Like, do you know any idea of how it works?
I'm not really sure how it works. I think it's really cool. Android is really good at that. I mean, you can there's speech recognition. You can send text messages and a lot through speech recognition, and it's really nice. You can do it really quickly and easily without having to like completely immerse yourself in your phone.
Yeah.
And also. Another story that came out today is that some nuanced voices were found in the Lion Developer Preview 3.
So that's where we saw the integration of it.
Yeah, the third preview of the Lion 10.7 operating system came out recently. And,
all right.
So nuanced voices are also going to be integrated in with that, supposedly.
All right, sounds good. And like I said, this is something that's not perfect yet, but Nuance is a great company for Apple to purchase in terms of perfect or adding on to their speech recognition technology. And again, this is something that's going to be helpful in driving and situations like that. Again, it's not perfect, just like how the keyboards, the autocorrect isn't perfect, but again, it's a step forward. And moving on to our last story here, Google. This is a story from GigaOM. Google adds news near you. Now, this is a Google. It was on Friday. They added a feature called News Near You, which is a mobile version of its news platform. Basically, this would integrate with Google Maps. The idea behind it would be it's a simple idea. You allow the service to use your location like any GPS app would do, iPhone or Android, whatever device, and through GPS and cellular triangulation, I was mess up that word, triangulation, network triangulation, Google will be able to select stories of your interest that are within that area, that are close to you geographically. So let's say, breaking articles going down, let's say, I don't know, a robbery was occurred here, or, who knows, anything of that sort, or, a sports event happened here, they just won the playoffs, anything of that sort. And let's say you're near, you can get a notification showing that based on your GPS location, you may be interested because you're close to this, or breaking news may be happening and you're close to this. This is a great way to get not only, users involved and, just a great way to get your news because I guess your news is not really, altered because you're basically just getting stuff that's around you, in your vicinity. But it's just a really interesting thing to do because you're taking a step forward from offering news through, newspapers where you'd have to, wait for the articles to be published and you have to go to newsstand and get that. You're basically getting the news as it happens, if it's in your area or if something just went down, like you're being notified. It's a great thing about it. And obviously, he's going to take advantage of your GPS location. If you're not somebody who goes around the city a lot or goes around, then maybe it's not a thing for you. But, I think it's interesting nonetheless, and it's just an interesting take on technology now and how it's changing the news market and how we, interpret news. This is something we've seen from when people are integrating mobile phones into news. There's that one for the one, Josh, for CNN's called, iReport? Is that what it's called? Yeah, where users can report news on their own, if they've eyewitnessed something, they can take pictures and upload it to iReport. The stuff like that is just really getting users involved through mobile phones. So, I don't know, Josh, what do you think? Is there anything you would be interested in? Anything that you would enable, personally?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. One thing it's kind of similar that I really liked was with Tweety on the iPhone, when you could view tweets nearby on a map.
Yeah.
So this is kind of similar, because you could, in a way, kind of consider tweets news, some of them. So this is just local news, nearby news.
Yeah. And like you said, I remember when I enabled that, you can see people, anything if an event happened, even Twitter, not even necessarily local tweets, but when events happen, hashtags, how those are, if a natural disaster happens, it's something you see climbing to the top of the trending topics, and it's something you're involved in. You're following news through Twitter. I know when the Osama situation happened, Twitter was one of the things I went to because just getting articles and stuff like that through the trending topics. You would see people live tweet about this stuff, and just a great way to get news. Without the the whole having to go through watching turning on the TV and watching the news. We see ourselves getting our news from more and more internet-based services or, services like this where obviously we'll be able to see the news around you. So Google adds the news near you, and I'm obviously waiting to see this feature updated. I'm guessing this will come through Google Maps, or I'm not sure if that'd be a separate application. I guess it would just be added to the Google Maps platform. But with that, guys, we have our picks of the week. And Josh, I'm going to go ahead and let you go along with your pick of the week first, and then I'll get into mine. Mine's an iPhone app, so I'm going to get that fired up.
Okay, my pick of the week is the HBO Go application. It's on iOS and on Android. And basically, if you have HBO with your cable provider, like AT&T, Cox, Comcast, Time Warner, whatever, you can just download this app, log in, and you have instant access to a lot of movies, some new releases. You can see there's like How to Train Your Dragon, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, Terminator, and you also have access to some HBO series like Band of Brothers, Boardwalk Empire. There's a lot of awesome TV shows and movies. There's even some comedy. Here's Ricky Gervais, Bob Saget. Just a lot of just awesome content that you can stream instantly. And it's all free on your smartphone. So I definitely check that out. Just HBO Go.
HBO Go. This is iPhone and Android, you said?
Yes, and an iPad app too. And I've tried the iPad app, and it's very nice.
Awesome. All right, so mine as well is an iPhone app, and sorry for the cracked screen here, but this is Tweetbot. So this is a app purchase. I believe it's $2-3 on the iPhone App Store. I still have to get a review out for it officially, but this is a Twitter app, and I know Twitter apps are kind of generic, but this is really one of my current favorite Twitter app. I used to use Tweety, I used to use TweetDeck, Seismic, all of those, but really right now Tweetbot's one of my favorites. So Tweetbot is a simple Twittering app, but it has a really, really fluid interface, and stuff like sounds and stuff like that just add on to the experience of the app. Really, I love the sound pack within Tweetbot, and that's obviously not the main reason I use it. It just, all of those features packed into one make it a great Twitter app. So here you have your timeline, and you can simply scroll through. Now, if you like a tweet here, you can, sorry, I'm trying to do this backwards, you can swipe there to get related tweets. So if you swipe to that, you can see related tweets to that if he's talking about a certain article. I can also swipe, sorry, I'm trying to make sure I swipe the right way here. I can swipe, okay, see, I swiped the wrong way that way. Okay, I can swipe the opposite way, and, sorry, oops, sorry. There you go. And I can, so if I click on that and swipe, you can see your options below. You have the options to retweet it, favorite it, get settings. You can also, so I can click this and I can say post link to tweet, copy tweet, email tweet, or even translate the tweet. So if you have, people tweet Twitter in another language, you can also click it to get more detail on it, and you can get detail about the user or the tweeter, I guess. In this case, it's DRBUK, and you can get related tweets to that news article. Along with that, you have your app mentions in the bottom corner there. You have your little dock that does the app mentions. You have your messages, and you also have your favorites, and you can also search through tweets. Now, actually, and it also supports multiple accounts, so if you use multiple Twitter accounts. Now, writing a tweet. So here you can write a tweet, it's simple, but you also have this option right here. If you click this options button, and what you get there is you can do a couple things. So you can add location, view drafts, you can post photo or videos from your camera, or you can post videos or photos from your library, so you can directly take a photo or just get one out of your library. Really, really awesome Twitter app. And again, like I said, like the sounds and all that stuff just adds on to the great experience. Really cool Twitter app. Check it out. Tweetbot. If you like Tweety, you're definitely going to like Tweetbot. Do check it out. It is a little bit, I'm pretty sure I paid $2 for it in the App Store, but check it out on the iPhone. I'm not sure if it's on Android currently, but definitely a great Twitter app to check out. So with that, guys, that concludes this episode. Josh, any closing notes, any links you want to drop?
No. The only thing is the HBO Go app is free.
Oh, it's free? All right.
Yes.
Awesome. And we'll be able to make sure to put those iTunes links in the podcast descriptions. Anyways, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to check out our content over at digitaldojos.com. Also, head over to youtube.com/digitaldojos, youtube.com/dojogamers. That's one of our new channels. And my main channel, youtube.com/LakerCoolman. We have some Minecraft videos up there if you're interested in that whole sort of thing. We have some Call of Duty videos on the Dojo Gamers channel, and of course, Digital Dojos. We have reviews of certain products coming out. I think last week you talked about the GoFlex TV. The review is going to be out this week for that, so do check that out. And of course, you can follow us on Twitter at Twitter. Sorry about my phone there. You can follow me at twitter.com/Chiguru, and I believe Josh at twitter.com/Louis493. Alright, so thanks a lot, Josh, for joining us, and I thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will catch you guys next week.